Over 2 million tons of honey are produced around the world every year. That's the result of billions of bees working together across millions of hectares of land. But how does something as simple as flower nectar become the golden, sweet liquid we find in jars? It all begins in the fields. Worker bees leave the hive every day to collect nectar, the sweet liquid produced by flowers to attract pollinators. This nectar varies in taste, color, and texture depending on the type of flower. Bees use a long, tube-like tongue called a proboscis to suck the nectar from flowers. Once collected, the nectar is stored in a special part of the bee's body called the honey stomach, different from its regular stomach. The honey stomach holds the nectar until the bee returns to the hive. Back at the hive, the bee passes the nectar to another worker bee, which places it into the wax cells of the hive's honeycomb. It's in these hexagonal cells that the process of turning nectar into honey begins. Bees work together in an amazing way to turn nectar into honey. Inside the hive, they move the nectar between cells and expose it to the air. This helps most of the water in the nectar to evaporate. While doing this, bees add special enzymes, like invertase, that break down complex sugars, like sucrose, into simpler ones like glucose and fructose. This not only makes honey easier to digest, but also helps it last longer. As the nectar thickens and the sugar levels rise, the bees keep working until the honey reaches the right moisture level. When it's ready, they seal the honeycomb cells with a thin layer of wax. This keeps the honey fresh and stops it from fermenting. Once the honey is mature and has the right texture, beekeepers start the harvesting process. This step must be done very carefully to avoid harming the bees or damaging the hive. Honeycombs, the wax structures where honey is stored, are removed using special tools. Beekeepers handle them gently to protect the hive and the bees' environment. After being removed, the honeycombs are taken to processing centers. There, the honey is extracted and prepared for packaging. This process is important not just for ensuring good quality honey, but also for treating the bees with care and preserving their health. A single hive can produce between 15 and 30 kilograms of honey per year, depending on things like the type of flowers nearby, the weather, and the overall health of the bees. In many honey-producing countries, the number of beehives is a major factor in total production. For example, the United States has over 2.6 million beehives, while China has more than 10 million. The number of hives needed depends on how much land is farmed, the species of bees, and local climate conditions, since honey changes based on the flowers and the region it's made in. The next step in honey production is uncapping, which involves removing the wax layer that bees use to seal and protect the honey inside the comb. This wax cap, called the operculum, is carefully cut away using a special knife or a machine. This step must be done with precision to avoid damaging the honey or the wax. The wax that's removed isn't wasted. It's valuable and can be reused many times. It's often melted down and used to make other products like candles, lip balms, and skin creams, adding extra value to the beekeeping process. After uncapping, the honeycombs go through extraction. This is usually done using a machine that spins the combs at high speed. The spinning creates centrifugal force which pulls the honey out of the cells. The honey then collects in a large container. At this stage, it still contains tiny bits of wax, dust, pollen, and other small impurities. To make sure the honey is clean and ready to eat, it goes through filtering. It's passed through fine mesh or stainless steel screens that remove all the small particles without affecting the natural benefits of the honey. In some cases, honey is also pasteurized, which means it's gently heated to kill off any bacteria or yeast. This helps extend its shelf life and ensure safety. However, pasteurization can also destroy some of the natural enzymes found in raw honey, so not all honey is pasteurized, especially if it's being marketed for its raw natural properties. Once the honey is clean and ready, It's poured into jars or bottles of various sizes depending on how it will be sold. During packaging, care is taken to keep the honey from being exposed to air or outside contaminants. The containers are tightly sealed to prevent oxidation and to keep out air or microbes that could affect the honey's quality. At this stage in honey production, a filling line carefully pours the right amount of honey into containers. These containers, made of glass, plastic, or heat-resistant pouches, are moved along a conveyor belt to the sealing station. Sealing is done with great care because any mistake here could affect the honey's quality. Next comes quality control, an essential step before the honey reaches consumers. Several tests are performed to check key factors like moisture content, since too much moisture can cause fermentation. Acidity is also measured to assess freshness and overall balance. Other qualities, such as flavor, texture, and appearance, are examined to make sure the honey meets high standards. These tests also ensure that the honey is safe to eat and follows all health and food safety regulations. This includes checking that it's free from pesticide residues and other contaminants. Once the honey passes all checks, it's ready to be distributed to supermarkets, local stores, and markets. People enjoy honey in many ways, and its taste, color, and texture often depend on the type of flowers the bees visited. Now, let's step inside this honey spoon factory, where the finest honey is carefully selected for its rich flavor. But they don't stop at regular spoons. They shape honey into adorable spoon forms using plastic or silicone. Each honey spoon is then tightly sealed with fancy film or foil, like a tiny, sweet gift. This ensures you can simply grab, unwrap, and enjoy without any mess. Finally, the spoons are packed in boxes or trays, keeping them safe during transport. Once they reach your kitchen, they're ready to add a touch of natural sweetness to your tea, toast, or any treat. A simple, convenient, and delightful way to enjoy pure honey anytime. Ready meals are a marvel of modern food manufacturing, offering convenience without compromising on taste. The process begins with the careful selection of high-quality ingredients sourced from trusted suppliers to ensure freshness and safety. Ingredients are then prepped, cooked, and assembled in state-of-the-art kitchens where precision and hygiene are paramount. Advanced machinery handles tasks such as chopping, mixing, and portioning, while trained workers oversee quality control at every stage. Meals are cooked using industrial ovens, steamers, or fryers to replicate home-style cooking. Once cooked, the meals are rapidly chilled or frozen to lock in flavor and nutrients. Packaging is another critical step designed to preserve the food's quality and provide easy reheating options. As we continue, let's take a closer look at canned sardines. This popular and convenient food item is produced in factories through a simple yet fascinating process. It starts with fresh sardines, which are small, oily fish. The fish are first cleaned with their heads and tails removed, and then washed thoroughly. After cleaning, they are cooked, usually by steaming or frying to prepare them for canning. Once cooked, the sardines are placed into cans, often with oil, water, or sauce added for flavor and preservation. The cans are sealed tightly to keep the fish fresh and safe. They are then heated again to eliminate bacteria and ensure long shelf life. Finally, the cans are labeled, packed, and shipped to stores. Canned sardines are not only convenient but also nutritious, offering a good source of protein and healthy fats. And they can be stored for months without refrigeration. Next up, Let's explore how cookies are made in a factory. The process begins with automated systems that carefully measure and feed ingredients into mixers to ensure consistency in every batch. This helps maintain the perfect texture and taste. Most factories use the wire-cutting method to shape cookies. The dough is pushed through a mold and then cut into even pieces with a sharp wire. This machine can cut up to 100 cookies per minute and operates without stopping the production line. Another method is the automatic dough extruder, which shapes cookies into different designs using special nozzles. Next, the cookies go into large industrial ovens that use precise temperature control and airflow systems to bake them evenly. After baking, they are carefully transferred to a cooling tower to set properly. Once cooled, the cookies go through quality control before being packed into trays, bags, or boxes using automated machines. KitKat has been a favorite among children and adults since its introduction in 1935 during the golden age of chocolate. It consists of 3 layers of crunchy wafer and 2 layers of chocolate-covered filling, all wrapped in smooth milk chocolate, a delicious and iconic combination. One of Nestlé's factories in York, UK, produces over 7 million KitKat bars daily. In the UK alone, 1 billion bars are consumed each year. That's about 1,900 bars eaten every minute. The production process is strategically organized, with all steps in the supply chain located near each other, except for the cocoa trees and their harvest. The journey begins with cocoa beans, mostly harvested in West Africa in March. After being sun-dried for about 7 days, the beans are sent to the production site in York. At the factory, the beans go through a 3-hour process of cleaning, which removes dirt and husking, where rollers crush the beans to release the cocoa seeds. The transformation into chocolate starts when the beans are vibrated to break the shells and expose the pulp, the flavorful, fatty interior of the seed. The broken husks are separated on vibrating filters, and the pulp is roasted in a giant roaster, much like coffee beans. The exact roasting time and temperature are top secrets, as they determine the chocolate's flavor. Once roasted, the cocoa is sent to ovens, where heat and pressure unlock its rich chocolate essence. The chocolate-making process continues with the production of chocolate liquor, which contains cocoa butter. After separating the cocoa butter from the solids, the remaining solids are processed into cocoa powder, a common product found in supermarkets. Cocoa butter is then mixed with cocoa powder, sugar, milk, and vegetable fats to create the chocolate we all love. The mixture is combined in a giant 1-ton mixer, forming a thick, sandy, and sweet chocolate paste. Next comes the conching process, where the paste is refined. This step grinds the chocolate particles into smaller sizes, enhancing its smoothness and creating a better mouthfeel. Longer conching times produce creamier, richer, and higher quality chocolate as the constant friction releases more flavor. Once conching is complete, the chocolate is tempered by heating it, then cooling it to around 27 degrees Celsius. This process prevents crystallization, which can cause a gray or dull layer on the surface, maintaining the chocolate's appealing look and texture. Meanwhile, wafers are prepared by mixing flour and water into a dough, which is shaped and baked at 150 degrees Celsius. Once cooled, the wafers are layered with a creamy filling, ready to join the chocolate in creating the iconic KitKat bars. The assembly of KitKat begins by layering wafers with filling, similar to making a 3-story sandwich. A wafer layer is covered with filling, topped with another wafer, and finished with a plain wafer sheet. KitKat's filling, made from cocoa liquor, sugar, and a small amount of crushed KitKat bars. Rejected KitKats are crushed into a paste, which is reused to fill the wafers of new KitKats, a sustainable way to reduce waste. After 16 hours of mixing, the chocolate is ready to become bars. Machines fill 336 molds per minute, producing over 200,000 KitKats daily. The chocolate is pumped into molds to form the bar's exterior. Wafers are placed inside, and a final chocolate layer seals it. Once molded, the bars are cooled in a cooling tunnel to harden. Quality managers remove any defective bars, such as those with bubbles or cracks, crush them, and reuse them for filling. KitKat also produces KitKat Vegan, a plant-based version of the classic chocolate bar, designed to cater to those following vegan or dairy-free lifestyles. Instead of traditional milk chocolate, it uses a smooth and creamy rice-based alternative, maintaining the iconic taste and texture. The crunchy wafer inside remains unchanged, delivering the familiar KitKat experience with every bite. Finally, automated robots quickly wrap the finished KitKat bars, ensuring they're ready for packaging and distribution. After wrapping the bars in decorative packaging, they are ready to delight chocolate lovers around the world. With 7 million KitKat bars produced daily, the packaged bars are transported to a storage facility. From there, as orders arrive, they are moved to the loading area and dispatched to supermarkets, ensuring a steady supply of this iconic treat to satisfy global demand. Right here, we have a beef patties factory. The process starts by grinding beef into small pieces. Then, the ground beef is mixed with spices, salt, and other ingredients to add flavor. This mixture is placed into a machine that shapes it into round, flat patties. The patties are carefully frozen to ensure they are safe to eat and remain fresh. The patties are packaged in plastic or boxes, labeled and sent out to stores or restaurants. This process helps produce beef patties quickly and safely ready for people to enjoy in their meals. In a large modern factory, millions of ice creams are made every day. This factory is filled with advanced machines that work quickly and efficiently. These machines mix fresh ingredients like milk, sugar, and fruit to create delicious ice cream. There are many different flavors, from classic chocolate and vanilla to unique ones like mango and caramel swirl. The machines pour the ice cream into cones, cups, and tubs before freezing them at very low temperatures. Some machines add chocolate coatings, sprinkles, or nuts to make the ice creams even more exciting. Workers in the factory monitor the machines to ensure everything runs smoothly. Quality checks are done to guarantee that each ice cream meets high standards. Once packed, the ice creams are sent to stores and supermarkets worldwide. Next up, let's explore the process of making apple juice in factory. The journey begins with selecting fresh and high-quality apples. These apples are washed thoroughly to remove dirt and impurities. After washing, they are crushed and pressed to extract the juice. The extracted juice is then filtered to remove any solid pieces like seeds or pulp. To improve its taste and shelf life, the juice is pasteurized by heating it to a high temperature for a short time. This process kills bacteria while keeping the juice fresh. After pasteurization, the juice is cooled and stored in large tanks. Before packaging, it goes through a final quality check to ensure it meets safety and taste standards. Finally, the juice is poured into bottles, cartons, or cans, sealed and labeled. The packaged apple juice is then ready to be shipped to stores. Take a look at these incredible machines in action, perfectly shaping different types of mooncakes. In this production line, everything depends on precise timing and patterns to achieve that flawless form. It's truly mesmerizing to watch each mooncake take shape with such perfection. Over 50 million tons of tomatoes are processed worldwide every year to create a variety of sauces. However, the majority of this production is dedicated to making ketchup. But how are such massive quantities of tomatoes transformed into this beloved sauce? It all starts in vast fields where millions of kilos of tomatoes are harvested each year. Thanks to its rich agricultural tradition and ideal Mediterranean climate, Italy has become one of the world's top tomato producers. These tomatoes are specially cultivated for mechanical harvesting, with thick skins and firm flesh, to prevent damage during transport. To concentrate the pulp, irrigation is stopped 2 to 3 weeks before harvest, making the tomatoes denser and fleshier. After about 90 days on the vine, they reach peak ripeness and are ready for harvesting. Harvesting machines use sharp blades to cut the plants and transfer them onto conveyor belts. Metal spikes shake the tomatoes free from stems and leaves, which are then recycled as fertilizer. However, unwanted materials like soil, stones, and unripe fruit may still be mixed in. To ensure quality laser scanners identify and separate ripe tomatoes, which are then sent by conveyor belt to trailers moving alongside the harvester. Each trailer can hold up to 300,000 tomatoes, and the process continues until at least 20 tons are collected. After harvest, the tomatoes are transported to the factory where their transformation into sauces and other products begins. Upon arrival, they are placed in large water tanks, where high-pressure jets propel them through steel channels, washing away soil and dirt. As they move forward, a conveyor belt with slots drains impurities, while the tomatoes fall into a channel of clean water. Any stones or heavy debris sink and are removed to prevent damage during processing. Once clean, the tomatoes go through a classification system that combines mechanical and visual methods to ensure only high-quality fruit is used. Optical sensors and specialized workers identify and discard damaged, unripe, or low-quality tomatoes, ensuring that only the best continue to the next stage. To remove the skin without affecting texture or flavor, the tomatoes undergo blanching. This is done either by immersing them in hot water or exposing them to high-temperature steam. The heat loosens the skin, making it easy to remove. After blanching, the tomatoes pass through rollers or rotating brushes that peel them efficiently. Some industrial processes use pressurized air or water jets to remove any remaining skin without damaging the fruit. The result is clean, peeled tomatoes, ready to be processed into sauce, paste, or preserves. Next, the tomatoes enter the crushing phase where high-speed rotating blades quickly turn them into a smooth puree while maintaining product quality. However, this mixture still contains unwanted elements such as seeds, skin remnants, and coarse fibers. To refine the puree, it passes through sieves and filters of different sizes which remove impurities. Some processes use coarser sieves to maintain a rustic texture, while others use finer filters for a completely smooth sauce. The final tomato puree is transferred to large stainless steel cooking tanks, where it is heated at a controlled temperature. This step enhances the tomato's flavor while reducing water content, thickening the sauce to the desired consistency. During cooking, various ingredients are added to enhance the flavor and balance the natural acidity of the tomatoes. Salt is essential as it intensifies flavors and acts as a natural preservative. A small amount of sugar helps soften the acidity, creating a perfect balance on the palate. The cooking process can take several hours, depending on the recipe and batch size. During this time, the sauce is continuously stirred by mechanical systems to prevent sticking or burning, ensuring a smooth texture and well-integrated flavors. Once the sauce reaches the desired consistency and taste, it undergoes pasteurization to ensure safety and extend shelf life. This involves heating the sauce to high temperatures, 85 to 100 degrees Celsius, to eliminate microorganisms without significantly altering its properties. To preserve its color, aroma, and texture, the sauce is rapidly cooled immediately after heating. The cooling method varies by facility and may involve cold air jets, water baths, or heat exchangers. This step helps preserve the sauce's freshness and quality, preparing it for packaging. After pasteurization, the sauce travels through stainless steel pipes to the packaging area, where strict hygiene standards prevent contamination. High-precision filling machines then pour the sauce into different types of containers based on its commercial destination. Once the ketchup passes quality control, it is ready to be packaged. The ketchup is pumped into clean, sterilized bottles or sachets. Factories use high-speed machines that can fill thousands of bottles per hour. After filling, the bottles are sealed with caps to keep the ketchup fresh. Some factories use vacuum sealing, which removes excess air from the bottle before sealing it. This helps extend the shelf life of the ketchup. After sealing, labels are applied to the bottles. These labels include important information, such as the brand name, ingredients, expiration date, and nutritional facts. Finally, the labeled containers are sent to the packaging area, where they are arranged into larger packs or sturdy cardboard boxes designed for safe transport and storage. Now, let's shift gears to this amazing process of making burger buns in factory. It begins with mixing ingredients such as flour, water, yeast, sugar, and salt in large industrial mixers. Once the dough reaches the perfect consistency, it is portioned into uniform balls using automated equipment. These dough balls are then sent to proofing chambers where controlled temperature and humidity allow them to rise, ensuring a soft and fluffy texture. After proofing, the buns are baked in large ovens at precise temperatures, achieving a golden brown crust and airy interior. Once baked, the buns are cooled on conveyor belts before being sent to the packaging stage. Some may be topped with sesame seeds before baking, while others remain plain. The buns are then packed into hygienic airtight bags to preserve freshness and undergo quality checks before being distributed to restaurants and stores worldwide. And here we have a chocolate bar's factory. The process of making Reese's peanut butter cups involves combining rich chocolate and creamy peanut butter to create the iconic treat. It begins with preparing the peanut butter filling. A mixture of roasted peanuts, sugar, salt, and stabilizers is blended into a creamy but slightly gritty consistency. In the production line, specially designed molds are filled with a layer of melted chocolate to create the cup's base and edges. The molds are then cooled to harden the chocolate, forming a sturdy foundation for the filling. Finally, the Reese's peanut butter cups are removed from the molds, wrapped in distinctive packaging and subjected to quality checks. Afterward, they are boxed Lipton has been at the forefront of tea production for over a century. The process of making Lipton tea bags starts with carefully selected tea leaves, harvested from tea estates around the world, including India, Kenya, and Sri Lanka. The leaves are hand-picked at their peak for optimal flavor. Once the tea leaves are picked, they are transported to the factory where they undergo a precise drying process. The leaves are withered, rolled, oxidized, and dried to lock in their flavor. This process transforms the fresh tea leaves into the black, green, or herbal teas we know, with each variety processed differently to achieve unique flavors. Once dried, the tea is blended according to Lipton's carefully crafted recipes. Expert tea tasters ensure that each blend meets the brand's high standards for flavor and consistency. The tea is then placed into bags made of heat-sealed, biodegradable materials. Each tea bag contains just the right amount of tea for a perfect brew. After bagging, the tea bags are packed into Lipton's iconic yellow boxes. Throughout the process, rigorous quality control checks are carried out to ensure each tea bag delivers a consistent, flavorful cup of tea. Next up, let's explore the production of breakfast sandwich. The process begins with the buns. As they enter the production line, they're quickly sorted and organized by a highly efficient conveyor system. Each bun is automatically aligned and fed into slicing machines. These machines split each bun, perfectly separating the top and bottom halves in one swift motion. Next, the protein selection. In a modern breakfast sandwich, this could mean sausage patties, ham, or bacon. These different proteins are sorted, using a system that distinguishes each type and organizes them. With the patties perfectly sorted, robotic arms take over. Each patty is carefully picked up and placed onto the bottom half of a sliced bun. The robots work with a high degree of accuracy, ensuring each one is centered on the bun. The next step is adding the cheese. The factory uses a cheese extrusion system that slices and dispenses each cheese portion right onto the patty. Once the cheese is in place, the top half of the bun is added. This step requires exact timing so that the bun is added without disturbing the other ingredients. A robotic arm lifts the top bun and places it directly over the cheese, completing the basic structure of the sandwich. Now that the sandwich is assembled, it moves to the flow wrapper loading station. Here, the sandwich is placed into a wrapper that seals it for freshness. This wrapper is crucial for protecting the sandwich during transport and maintaining its quality until it's ready to be enjoyed by customers. Finally, the wrapped sandwiches are collected and organized into boxes for shipping. While there are many great donuts out there, today I'll be focusing on the process of making Krispy Kreme donut in factory. Krispy Kreme typically makes donuts twice a day, once in the morning and once in the evening, though each store might do it a little differently. First, the ingredients for the dough arrive at each Krispy Kreme factory in large bags. The dough is mixed with water and yeast, and its temperature is carefully regulated during the process. Once mixed, the dough is transferred into a hopper where it rests for about 10 minutes. A crane then moves the hopper over the extruder, which shapes the dough into rings using air pressure. No need to cut a hole. The extruder shapes the dough into a perfect ring from the start. Next, the donuts rise in a proofer, a large box that slowly moves the donuts on a conveyor belt for about 30 minutes. Inside, hot and humid air activates the yeast, causing the donuts to expand. Once they've risen, they're ready to be fried. The fryer is filled with hot vegetable shortening, where the donuts are cooked for about 45 seconds on each side. After frying, they are given time to cool before reaching the glaze waterfall. The glaze, whose recipe is a closely guarded secret, coats the donuts evenly before any excess glaze is recycled for the next batch. Once glazed, the donuts travel through the cooling tunnel to ensure the glaze fully hardens before being boxed or placed on trays for sale. Glazed donut is the most popular, but the company also makes many other varieties. Some donuts are dipped in colored icing or sprinkles after they cool, while others, like sugar donuts, skip the glaze altogether. Filled donuts, which don't have holes, are filled with special fillings by hand. The extruder can also be adjusted to create different shapes for special occasions. While the machine handles much of the process, skilled workers are essential. They monitor the machines, adjust settings, and even have an emergency stop button for safety. Above the fryer, a fire suppression system is in place in case of an emergency. Krispy Kreme produces around 20 million donuts per day globally, with an annual production of over 7 billion donuts. Their most famous product is the original glazed donut, and they operate in more than 30 countries, supplying both retail locations and various stores and supermarkets. And now, let's explore the cake production in factory on a large scale. The process begins with ingredient preparation, where bulk supplies of flour, sugar, eggs, and other essentials are carefully measured and mixed using industrial-grade mixers. This ensures the batter achieves the correct texture and consistency. Once mixed, the batter is transferred to automated depositing machines, which portion it into molds or baking trays. These are then moved into industrial ovens, preheated to the specified temperature. Baking is meticulously timed and monitored to ensure even cooking, creating a soft and fluffy texture. After baking, the cakes are cooled on conveyor systems to prevent condensation, which can affect their texture. Once cooled, the cakes move to the decoration stage, where frosting, fillings, and designs are applied. Advanced machinery precisely pipes frosting and spreads icing, while other machines layer cakes with fillings such as cream or jam. For intricate decorations such as patterns or logos, robotic systems or skilled workers apply finishing touches. Edible decorations like sprinkles, fruit, or chocolate are added as needed. Finally, the cakes are packaged in protective boxes to maintain freshness and prevent damage, ready for distribution to stores or customers. The process of making Twizzlers begins with mixing ingredients such as corn syrup, wheat flour, sugar, cornstarch, and other flavorings in large industrial mixers. This mixture is then heated to create a smooth, pliable paste. Once the paste is ready, it is extruded through a die that shapes the candy into long ropes. These ropes are then twisted to give Twizzlers their signature appearance. The twisting process occurs rapidly and is carefully monitored to ensure consistency in the size and shape of the final product. After the twisting process, the Twizzlers are cooled and cut into individual pieces of the desired length. They are then packaged for distribution to stores and consumers. Quality control is an essential part of the manufacturing process to ensure that the Twizzlers meet the company's standards for taste, texture, and appearance. Frozen pizza is produced in factories using a highly efficient method that combines advanced technology with stringent quality control to provide tasty, convenient meals. It all begins with preparing the dough, made from a precise blend of flour, water, yeast, and other ingredients. The dough is mixed and left to rise before being rolled into flat sheets and cut into the desired pizza shapes. Next, the pizza bases are partially baked in high-temperature ovens, ensuring a firm crust while maintaining softness inside. After cooling, the partially baked crusts move along conveyor belts to the topping stations. Here, sauce is evenly spread, followed by layers of cheese, meats, and vegetables. Each topping is applied with precision using automated dispensers to guarantee consistency. The fully assembled pizzas are then flash frozen in specialized freezers that rapidly reduce their temperature. This process locks in freshness and preserves the taste and texture of the ingredients. Once frozen, the pizzas are packaged in boxes designed to prevent damage and maintain product quality during transport. Throughout the production, rigorous quality control checks ensure every pizza meets safety and flavor standards. These frozen pizzas are then distributed to stores ready to provide customers with a quick and delicious meal option.